I am.
All righty. Well, everybody, welcome back to the Moto Nobodies podcast. This is season 2, episode 4, coming at you live. Of course, with us, we do have the wonderful John the Million Mile Miracle. John, how you doing?
I am wonderful tonight. And, you know, with our guest tonight, we should revisit my topic from last week and get his input.
Man, you are already starting out surly.
Yeah, and who's got the feedback going on?
That I do not know. That I do not know.
All right. Well, who are we bringing to the party tonight?
Well, we've reached deep down into the sack of the Moto Nobodies.
Oh, wow.
Deep
Wow.
down.
Wow.
And we're bringing out somebody that nobody from the podcast has heard as of yet. He comes to us from the wonderful city of Oklahoma City. I'd like to introduce you all to Just John. How you doing, Just?
Hello.
I'm going to call you JJ because then we have John. It's,
Yeah, fair enough. That works.
So here we go. Bacon, I'm going to jump right into this one. Ready?
Oh God, you are just getting surly.
Yeah, I'm going to get into this. So Just John, you know these guys are thinking about making this trip to Alaska, right?
Yeah.
And I gave them crap last week about, that 600-mile repetitive for 2 weeks is going to be a little hard. And they say, no, they can handle it. What's your input?
600 miles repetitive for 2 weeks.
Well, you got to go from here to Alaska, which is what? What's that? Bacon round trip, 8,000 miles?
Well, let me go ahead and pull that up here.
So here we go.
Start from home.
Now, since I bashed, and I guess...
And what did we say? We said June. Did we say Juneau?
That I've never heard of. I don't know where you're heading.
Well, what's the farthest any of you guys have ridden in a week's time? Because, I know John. I know your history with that, but
yeah, my history because I could have did it in October.
He could have done this whole trip in about a week.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Okay.
And I guess that's what I want to say is that do I think and I don't want to do I think you guys can do it? Yes. It might sound last time that I was negative about it. I'm just saying that.
Oh no, you're just negative about it.
That
it's gonna hurt.
Oh, I never said it was not going to. That never once did we say that it was not going to hurt. It's going to be. Let me see here. I'm trying to actually get this route going. Home Creek. Yep. Let's start there. Oh no. Why did that change that? I'm trying to get this whole the whole trip, like the basic line of it. And right now what I'm looking at is 3,662 miles there.
Wow. Do you guys have something to prove?
Yes. We just want to do it for ourselves, really.
No, Bacon, where were we heading? Where were you heading into?
Where are we heading into?
Where are you going to hit in Alaska?
Juneau.
So you do realize there is no road to Juneau?
Yes.
Okay. So the only way to get there is either plane or boat.
Well, and most likely we may just stop somewhere around Mud Bay, somewhere in there.
Okay. All right.
That way we're not, having to spend all that extra time on a boat going to Juneau.
Okay. So that's just my input.
I hear you.
So it might sound like I was bashing you guys because Amp gave me a lot of crap offline that I don't have faith in you guys. I do have faith. I'm just preparing you guys that
it's going to suck. Yeah.
It's going to suck. and you're going to get on the bike, and some days, and I'd planned this because I experienced this coming back. You're going to want to buffer in a couple of days of crappy weather that you're not going to be able to ride because the weather's a scrappy or you don't feel like it. And then, I mean, I know John has ridden long trips,
Yeah.
and I've done the Iron Butt. And when I did Iron Butt, the first day wasn't when I did it over 3 days. When I did the whole trip, I wasn't worried about day one. I was worried about day two because I knew day two was going to suck. And two did, and then three even kind of sucked more. So,
Real quick, so Happy Jack is in the chat.
Happy Jack, hey buddy.
Yeah, and he says John could do it in a couple days. Oh, the way you were going there for a while, it almost seemed like it.
What?
That you could do a trip like that in a couple days.
I mean, you got to put your mindset to it.
Yeah. No, you're right. And that's the whole thing. Like the first couple days, if we could knock out, I don't know, probably about 1,500 miles in 2 days.
Ooh.
I know it's rough. That'd be definitely a lot. That'd be pushing it a lot.
All right. So
but it's summer. So you get an early start.
Yeah.
You get an early start and you don't have to stop until later. So, I mean, it's all really up to each, to every person in there. But if you could get that first big push out of the way, you could do it a little bit. You could take some time after that. You're looking at 450 mile days.
Right. Well, I mean, 450-mile days aren't so bad, but
even 500-mile days wouldn't be bad.
I mean, you're creeping up on the bear back and body time right there.
Well, bear is my friend.
So, anyways, there's my little recap from last show. So,
and to be honest, like as I said last time, from Gettysburg back here, it was honestly not that bad of a ride for me. I used to actually go only about, like, if I could go 4 hours, I would have to stop for 2-3 hours because I'd have to lay down for my back.
Well, hey, Bacon, you weren't feeling very much on that ride. That's the problem.
No, I wasn't.
You're still recovering.
Well, that's the only reason it took an extra 2 hours. It's because I did have to recover a little bit.
Yeah. We're going back, right?
Yes, I do, and I will not be able. I just don't see myself being able to make it this year.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. Hell,
right.
End of this month, I'm going down to Orlando.
I'm going. Let's see. Not this weekend. The following weekend. 15th.
Are you going down to Orlando yourself?
I'm going to. I don't know where I'm going. Going in that area. Going to end up in Daytona for at least a couple hours. The bike week.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
I would like to go back to Daytona for bike week. That's a good time.
So we're going to end up there for a few hours and not sure what else is going to happen.
You're just kind of meandering your way down there.
A group of guys are going to take a ride.
So you're going to be one of the few that actually ride to bike week?
Yes.
Well, it's a spider. It's not a big wheel bagger.
Oh. Ooh. Tim's fighting words.
You say that, but when you spend that much money on building a bike, you definitely don't want to get to where you're going to show it off and have it all chipped up and whatnot from the road. That gets expensive to fix.
So since just John joined us, we should probably say, John, what do you ride?
What do I ride? I have what is it? It's a 2018 Road Glide Ultra.
How are you liking that as compared to your old Especiale?
Honestly, I would much rather have my previous bike. That was taken from me way too soon.
And in a sad fashion.
Yep, Toyota Camry.
And Toyota ate it.
Yeah, just totally, just engulfed it. Every time I see a Camry, it's a little flashback, and I've developed this hatred for Camrys. Sorry to anyone that drives a Camry, but car sucks.
There's nothing wrong with hating a Camry. I mean, aren't they the cars that would get the stuck throttles? I mean, I know they don't have that problem now, but
Hey, maybe that's what happened in because he didn't hit his brakes at all when he slammed right through me. So
was it? So then he was a Garth Brooks song, "Papa Love Mama." He never hit his brakes while he was shifting gear.
Yeah, I know nothing about what you just said.
Nah, it's a good song. I may just throw a little smidge of it in right there, just for you.
How thoughtful.
So, what do you like more about it? Do you like the fact that it was lighter and stuff, or?
I think what I liked the most about it was I had already done quite a few mods to the engine. I had a custom exhaust. I removed the cat. I added the tour pack. I added heated grips. I did a lot of work on that bike. And when you do a lot of work on a bike, it kind of becomes your own. You make it your own, and I think you appreciate it a lot more. And after when everything was settled with insurance, I got a large check, and I went to go buy a new Harley, and I noticed that to get another Road Glide Special versus a Road Glide Ultra, there was only about a $200 or $300 difference between the two. However, to add things like the tour pack and
it's like $5.
The tour pack's over $1,000 to add to it.
That's right.
And
because of paint.
Yeah, and you have to get it keyed, and you have to buy different pieces. So you have to buy the pad for the passenger.
The latches.
The key has to be matched to your bike and everything, and so I went ahead and got the Ultra. But even on my Special, I was beginning to black out pieces of it. And in 2018, the Specials, I believe 2018 was the first year Harley started blacking out their Specials. And I could have gone with another Special and added everything to it and probably been more than happy with it, but it was just for cost reasons I went with the Ultra, and it's a great bike. It's just not the same feeling.
No, it definitely feels a little hulkier. Yeah. That's for sure.
And it took me all of about a week to get rid of the stock windshield on it.
That thing is big.
Yeah, it's huge. And I couldn't believe how big it was, and it was just big enough that it blocked any air from getting into my helmet. So the way the vents were positioned on my helmet, they weren't getting any air. So I had to get rid of it for safety reasons.
Yeah, I think the other thing about the Ultra is not being able to remove that tour pack.
Yeah, there's a kit to remove it, but since the taillight assembly is built into the tour pack, you have to buy a relocation kit to add a taillight assembly on the rear end somewhere, so that when you remove it, you can still have lighting.
Right.
And so it's just additional costs. I think if they would have just kept tail lights built into, I don't know, the fender or on the side of the fender or whatever, and would have made things a lot better for people that wanted to add the disconnect kit.
Ooh. Happy Jack says it's 575-ish just for that kit.
For the disconnect kit?
Yeah.
Yeah, the quick disconnect kit, I think is what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's because because it's a CAN bus
But-
system too. You have to.
But is that just for the hardware for the kit? Because that seems relatively cheap.
That I do not know.
Hey, Bacon.
Well, he said he did it to his limited, so that may just be like the whole thing. So,
Bacon.
What's up?
Get a little closer to the mic or turn your volume up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did turn it down. I had a cough.
I mean, it sounds like you're like, a couple hundred miles away.
I apologize for that. Is that better?
It is. Good luck on editing now.
Not worried about it. So, no, let's see here. Oh, he said no. That's labor.
Oh.
That changes it.
So what's that? 4 hours of labor?
Yeah, it's actually probably 2 actual hours. Oh, he says you can find it online for under 5. So, but yeah, as a CAN bus system, I wouldn't touch it myself. You could mess that up.
What's wrong with CAN bus?
It's unless you're trained under it, it's not like a regular electrical system.
Bacon, I was able to put my top case on with the that has a CAN bus system.
Oh, because you had a plug already there.
No. No. We just had to tap in the wires farther back.
Yeah. Yours also doesn't have as much to remove in the back. So
you don't have enough junk in your trunk. That's what he's saying.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah. He said he did it himself in 3 hours, and it's only plug and play.
See? Take it up to Boston. Have Happy Jack take care of it for you.
There you go.
Right on.
We want to go to Boston anyway, so.
Do what?
I said he's got to go to Boston anyway. For what, I don't know. I'm just going to say that he's got to go up there.
No reason to go to Boston. It's cold in Boston, isn't it?
Well, for sure right now. And let's just face it. If you go up there, you're going to have to also make sure you have the detachable kit. Oh, all of it. Oh, my God. How much chrome do you have on that thing?
Too much. I mean, there could be just chrome on one little piece, and it's too much chrome, in my opinion.
So, talking about that, Bacon.
Yes.
I think I've seen some videos. You've been working on the Dyna.
I have. I welded my exhaust back up.
You got the exhaust so it's not falling off no more?
Exactly.
and you heat wrapped it?
Yes, I did.
All nice and tight there so that won't dangle no more either?
That's right. Well, that was from all that happened because of my my heel. And so that'll happen again somewhere down the road. But I'll deal with that when I come to that.
Okay.
Because there is no shield. There's no shield for where my heel hits. So something I got to live with. Just redoing it every now and again.
What'd you use to wrap your pipe?
It was a product called Duramake. It was a Duramake exhaust wrap. It's titanium colored instead of that white that was on there. That white was just filthy constantly. So I think it looks a lot better. That and I ceramic painted it.
Oh, okay, you painted it. It looked like a dark black on Instagram.
Yeah, no, I used I used that that flame proof paint, VHT paint.
Right on.
That way, and that's because they were painted before with that ceramic paint,
Hmm.
and it saved them really from getting rusted out. Like there were a couple of small little spots of kind of rust on there, but for the most part, it really just saved them. So I was like, "Yep, I think I'll go ahead and paint it again before I wrap it."
I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my exhaust. I had the Cobra Neighbor Haters on the Ultra, and I ended up taking them off and putting my stock exhaust back on. They-
Just a little bit loud for your neighbors.
well, I don't think my neighbors cared. Or at least they didn't care enough to complain to me. But I think I hated them more than they did. So starting the bike up early in the morning in the garage just created like this echo, and wasn't a pleasant sound.
You must be getting too old.
Yeah, well, I mean, I bought an Ultra. You know, my exhaust was too loud.
Yeah, it sounds about right. How big's that belly?
Getting too big.
Cheese bacon. That's
Hey.
just mean.
Just checking off all those dad checks there, you know. Pretty soon he's going to be wearing white New Balance. Go riding around with his white New Balance and his dad jeans.
Never.
He's going to have like his little dad safari hat.
Are these things you do?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Constantly. No, man, I wear Skechers, the other dad shoes.
The other dad shoes.
Hey, what can I say? They're comfortable to work in. So that's why I got them.
I'm wearing the same shoes I wrecked in, and they held up just fine. Converse All Stars.
Well, I've honestly been thinking about getting some riding shoes that are kind of like the Converse All Stars.
Mm. Yeah, I saw a video on YouTube. It was the Law Abiding Biker channel had
Yeah.
yeah, they reviewed a pair, and they looked like Converse, but I think they were made out of a rubber almost, and they were waterproof.
Yeah, they have waterproof ones. They have really aerated ones. But the cool thing is that is they still provide you, you know, the ankle protection, like your side bone protection, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
Reinforced heel and toe. And supposedly a bit more grip on your soles.
See, if I had a really nice pair of riding shoes, my problem is I would just always wear them.
Right, and then you'd wear them out and you have to go buy a new one, and those
Yeah.
are expensive. Hell, Harley actually has a pair of riding shoes like that.
Are they like $300?
Most likely. They are probably not the cheapest thing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find them here. You all can talk amongst yourself. No.
I don't want to talk to him.
Oh, he's
fine. Fine, don't talk to me then.
so surly. I'm telling you.
Oh, no. Let's see. What else is happening?
Well, the Zero is happening.
Okay. What's happening with the Zero?
Yeah.
The Zero, the SRF,
Okay.
was announced today, or was it this week? I believe
it was this week. I think it was yesterday.
That was last week.
Was it last week?
Okay, it was announced recently. How about that? 110 horsepower, 140 foot-pounds of torque, 124 mile an hour limit, 200-mile range, about 10 grand cheaper than the Livewire. Some pretty good specs.
Can't complain about those.
Yeah.
And the looks aren't bad, honestly. It looks a lot better than their other.
It looks more like a
like a bike,
like a complete bike, I guess you could say.
It almost looks like it could hold an engine in there.
It looks real.
Now, the thing is that the 200-mile range is with the power tank.
Oh, is that with the power tank? I thought
Yep.
that was just the stock was the 200-mile range.
Nope. Maximum city range includes additional zero power tank.
Okay. How much is the power tank on top of that 20 grand?
That I don't know. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you do, and they have more range, if you're in a city without the power tank, the premium standard gets 161 miles as the range. If you're doing highways at 55 miles an hour, it's 99 miles. If you combine it, they say 123 miles. If you do the highway at 70 miles an hour, you're going to get 82 miles out of the range. And if you combine it with city and highway at 70, you're going to get 109 miles.
So it still sounds like it's estimated better than the Livewire.
Right. And the interesting thing that I know that we kind of talked in the loud pipes stuff, and I know you're trying to go eco-friendly, but why not make like a Volt or the Chevy Volt or like a hybrid and have like a little, it's kind of weird, a little 4-stroke weed eater motor back there running a generator.
Sounds like a weed eater.
Well, you could get one like a little generator that's really quiet, get it really quiet down, and if it gave you a little extra, range. I mean,
Right.
you won't use much gas.
I wouldn't think it would take a whole lot either on a motorcycle.
Just something to think about. Why not?
Hybrid.
It might sound kind of stupid, but if you had something that would get a little farther, a little more range, charge it up. Or even if you stopped at a stop, let's just put it this way. Let's say you didn't, while you're going down the road, you don't run it. And let's say you stop at you're getting lunch, you fire up the little motor and it charges your battery up for you. You don't have to worry about charging stations because, a lot of motorcycle riders want to get out off the beaten paths, and you're going to end up places. You're not going to have charging stations.
Right.
And I know that we even went farther yet. It's like kind of like an emergency, have it kind of like emergency charging thing. So,
I don't know. I've always thought that they should make them. They should always make a hybrid. If they're going to go electric, they need to make a hybrid.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that no manufacturer has really tried that with a motorcycle yet.
I don't think a major manufacturer has.
Maybe like some of these little independent ones.
I think a smaller independent has. I swear I've seen something like it. But I could be just completely talking out of my ass as well, too. But I swear I've seen something of the sorts.
Apparently, Honda has looked into it. I don't know if they've released anything, but a quick Google search shows in an article in 2018 that, it's a hybrid scooter.
Well, I mean, it's got to trickle down to motorcycles at some point, man. Jeez, all that new technology that scooters has to move down to move down the line, man. That's just the way it's got to go.
I don't have the number for the power tank, but I can tell you that the power tank for other models. So for 19, they don't have the SRSF on it, but for an SR, it's $2,900 for the power tank.
Ouch.
So if you take your premium bike, and then maybe this is where I was throwing out. So if you went with the premium, that starts at 21. You add the additional rapid power charging system for another $2,300, and the power tank. Now you're at to 25.
And Livewire's at 29, right?
It is,
So,
but you said the same thing that you said before. The Zero's going to take it out of the water with the miles.
yeah.
In the and if you kind of go with it, the Zero's been out longer.
Right.
Oh, talking about electric stuff. Since we're going through this,
since we're here,
not sure if you guys caught this, but BRP bought some stuff of Alta Motors.
yes, I did see that.
So,
Picking
what's
up the scraps.
BRP going to be doing?
Unfortunately, I can see them making a. Actually, I wouldn't doubt that they're probably going to try and take some of their quads, like their side by sides, and make and go more electric with them. I don't know if they're going to bring that into the Spider line,
but that's fine. They could go with the quad, develop in the quad, and then convert it over to the Spider if it takes off.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. It already is kind of in the quad line. Like, there's electric quads out there that, a lot that are like meant for like hunters and stuff like that. There's electric side by sides.
Right.
It's once again you start running into the problem of, well, when's most hunting seasons?
Wintertime.
In the wintertime when it's cold. So you drain battery. So unless it's like your close land, you're not taking that out anywhere. Because then you have to go in there and haul it off with something else.
But there comes my little gas 4-stroke weed eater generator.
But if you're a hunter, you don't want a 4-stroke motor going.
Very good point.
The whole idea is that you don't scare off the animals. But now, if they made it, I don't know, because not everybody does that. Like there's a lot of desert riding, but then you have the heat that'll kill batteries. So I just until they actually improve batteries to where they can they can contend with extreme temperature changes, I just don't see anything really kicking off crazy. Like with cars is one thing, but with motorcycles and other recreational vehicles, it's not going to be the biggest seller in the world.
I would agree with that until we have another major revolution in battery technology. I don't think there's going to be too many more vehicles especially in climates where the weather's
I just thought of
super cold.
I just thought of it. What if? So you've been on a bumper car before, right? You know how they have the pole that touches the ceiling so that you get the power?
Yeah.
What if they just flip that around and put that on the road? And then you just had this little pole on the bottom of your motorcycle, just dragging along, giving you power everywhere you went.
Somebody would pee on it.
Huh. Let's see here. Oh, I got these metal shoes. Let me walk down.
We're walking along in my steel toes.
What happens when it snows or ices over?
Well, that's the thing. It's electric. You could generate enough heat with it that'll melt it.
Imagine infrastructure costs for that, though.
Well, it can't cost that much more than them consistently asphalting every road that you cross.
If it would make everyone go at consistent speed, then that would almost be worth it.
Yeah, like everyone was governed,
Yeah.
Mm.
but then that would take away from the fun of it too, though.
So, John, since you posted this, these are new shoes you're gonna go buy from Harley?
Oh, I don't know if I'll buy those. They're pretty nice though. The Midland Performance riding shoes. Those are the ones that I had said previously. They kind of look kind of Converse style.
Yeah.
But the white sole, that's not going to be white for long.
Have you looked at the Holtman?
I have not.
I mean, they're a little bit more like a lot closer to riding boot style, but still the Converse style.
Hmm.
I'll have to.
We're going to share a link.
Whoa. Oh, there we go. For some reason, I started playback. I started hearing myself.
See, I told you had the music. You had something going on.
No, I just started. It just started. So now I'm gonna look for this here real quick. I don't even know if Harley Davidson carries it anymore because it's on Amazon. So I'd have to find this here. Harley Davidson Holtman. Oh, no. Whoa! Do not miss the L on Holt and come up with Hot Man.
Do what, Bacon?
So I was typing in the name of the shoe. It's the Harley Davidson Holtman. Holtman. Well, if you accidentally miss that L, it turns into Hot Man. And the things that you bring up.
Oh.
Nothing you haven't searched for before anyway.
Oh,
You sure of that, Bacon?
That's a regular.
Or maybe that's what the wifey's looking at.
Well, maybe. You know, when I'm off at work. Let's see here. Let's paste that in there. There you go. Like I said, it's a lot more riding boot style. So. But I don't know.
Why do they make the soles white? That's something I can't understand for these.
Because it's the style.
Yeah, but I mean, it probably about a week or so they're not going to be white anymore.
Sure, they will.
Well, sure off white.
I think the rubber that they make them out of is like oil resistant, so they're a lot easier to clean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of like think about the white walls on your tire on wheels.
I think you could probably use white wall cleaner on them.
That probably would. Why not? I mean, it's not going to do anything.
I used to have a Yamaha Roadstar with white walls, and I thought they looked so great until I had to clean those damn things every week.
Scrubbing.
Oh yeah. Well, it was scrub it, move the bike a little bit. I was too poor to get a lift or anything, so I would set it in the garage and I'd clean a little bit of it, and then I have to get up and move the bike a little bit and clean a little bit more and move the bike a little bit.
Honestly, I mean, I don't have a lift, but I I just prefer not to have it on a lift to try and clean it. I always feel like I'm going to drop it for some reason.
No, you probably would.
I get a little rough
A little aggressive in your scrubbing.
when I'm rubbing it down. Yep. Just a little bit. So, I guess we can move on a little bit here.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on up.
Moving on up.
That's right. So we had a topic that Reggie brought up. Unfortunately,
Reggie brought up. Where's Reggie tonight?
Well, Reggie, unfortunately, he had some family issues to take care of.
Family issue.
Yes. He had
It
he had to help. He had to go take care of the wife for something. So, not sure what was going on with that. He didn't go into any details. I didn't really need to ask. But his little his kind of thought process is, what are some hobbies or kind of like scenes that kind of remind you of motorcycling? Or are there any that you are into that are interested that kind of remind you of motorcycling that you can think of? Nothing. Silence.
Crickets.
Crickets are the scene, man. Crickets are the scene.
Well, do you have an example here, Bacon?
Frankly, I don't. I was trying to, because when he brought it up, I was like, I mean, I guess it could work.
Hobbies or scenes that are similar to motorcycles?
The only thing I could really like motorcycling.
Bicycling?
Well,
similar.
I mean, the only thing you could kind of go with the thing is, is car clubs. And
I think that sometimes I almost kind of wonder if like deadheads touring around.
I thought it was interesting that in Miami they have poker runs on boats.
Do they really?
And yeah, and they structure it, I guess, quite similar to the way motorcycle poker runs are structured, with different spots and different areas that you go to get a card. So I thought that'd be an interesting thing to try out someday. And they do it on speedboats.
Oh, like on actual speedboats, like the big cigar boats? Or are you talking?
Yeah, the actual cigar type.
Oh, damn, that's expensive.
Yeah, so those things? Can be in the millions.
I think the cheapest they come is in like a couple hundred, 300,000. Easy.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess people need an excuse to take them out, and a poker run's a great excuse.
well, I mean, you got to get bored just going fast in a straight line.
Right.
Oh, have you ever seen that video? That guy was taking them out on a cigar boat, and they hit a bad wave, and it knocked the driver out. Like, it knocked everyone down.
What? Did the boat keep going?
No. He like when it hit, it pushed him forward, so it slammed it to stop.
Oh, jeez.
But it was one of those old, like, you take a drum and bass track or whatnot, and they just put it up to where the beat hits is when they all just go smack. It's one of those videos. And it was just hilarious because everyone on this boat just got thrashed.
That's probably what would happen if I actually went to Miami and went on one of those boats.
Let's hope not, but that I can see how that would happen, though. Like, oh. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. My wife wants a boat, and I'm like, if it's not a fishing boat, I don't want one. Just because I honestly,
Boats are there's a lot of upkeep and maintenance to a boat.
they're super expensive.
Yeah, and yeah, we complain about things like the Harley tax and the general costs associated with motorcycling, and it's a whole different ballgame for boats.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, just even the basic cost of a boat.
Yeah, and when I first bought the house that I live in, I was gifted a boat, and
Oh, thank you.
my HOA wouldn't let me keep it.
What?
So I had the option to either store it, to pay a facility to store it for me, or to regift it or give it away or sell it, and I ended up just giving it back.
So, was there not room in your garage for it, or was it too big?
No, it was too big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't have any commercial vehicles or boats or trailers or RVs or anything like that's visible from the road.
And you don't have a backyard, so
I have a backyard, but um, compared to most backyards, no, I don't have a backyard.
oh no. What is it? If you get a new boat, like if you buy it straight new, you have to log in so many hours within the first like month or 2 months of it
For what, like a break-in period?
as a break-in period,
Huh.
because they want you to take it in so that they check it for leaks and all that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you're first serviced after so many hours on the water.
And it's probably pretty expensive service, I would think.
Oh yeah, because then they go through they go through the engine. They want to make sure everything's running right. I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it. Look at how much you're paying in tens of thousands of dollars or more, depending on the boat. But
Yeah. I think you should get a boat.
yeah, yeah. As soon as I win the lottery,
There was someone recently won the big jackpot for one of the lottos, and
yeah, the guy in South Carolina, wasn't it?
yeah, I think it was South Carolina.
Yeah, he finally came out and announced that he.
Yeah, because he won that back in what was it, October?
Yeah, I think so.
So I wonder if there was like all these preparations behind him coming forward, or if he lost the damn ticket and then found it and was like, "Holy I won!"
I almost guarantee it was preparation.
Yeah, the thing I would do if I ever won that much money.
Disown everyone.
Yes.
No, I would set up a trust, like a company, and have a lawyer take care of it all. So because then you'd have people come knocking at your door.
Yeah,
You want to hide who won it.
I know some states have protections that you don't have to claim it in person or with your real name or something like that, and then others you're kind of screwed.
Right. So
No,
that's what
yeah,
I would do.
and this guy came out with just his lawyer. He didn't come show his face. He wants to remain anonymous.
A good plan.
That's smart.
And I think he's coming away. He's doing a one lump sum, coming away with
Price like 700.
892 million dollars or something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it was 1.6 billion.
Yeah, those lump sum payments and taxes shrink that down pretty quick.
Well, if you were to do it in payment, the taxes would be astronomical on it.
Yeah.
It's always always take the lump sum.
Unless unless you're on America's Got Talent, because that $1 million lump sum that they supposedly give you is spread out over, what is it, like 20 years or something? And if you take the lump sum, you end up getting like 20 grand.
Well, wait. Well, if it's America's Got Talent,
Maybe it's more like 200 grand. I'd have to reread the article. I read it this morning before I had coffee.
well, yeah, but don't they also? But that's the thing. With America's Got Talent, don't they end up getting a show in Vegas?
Yeah, I think that was the original intent of America's Got Talent. I don't know if they still do it that way. I have to admit I don't really watch it, but I would think with some of the acts that they have put through,
There's only so much you can do.
yeah, like it would be really difficult to put up, a new singer that's just known for America's Got Talent, to put them on a show in Vegas when you have so many other major attractions in Vegas with singers.
Right.
Because of course, like Britney Spears is there.
Well, there's a lot of crazy in Vegas. But no, honestly, that's always one thing that kind of pissed me off about America's Got Talent is, or any of those like that. That's like when it's like a variety kind of contest. Is there's enough singing contests out there? Why are there singers on this?
Right, right. And it almost seems unfair to put singers up against like group dancers or magicians or people that are in completely unrelated categories, and then the singers typically seem to go through much further, if not win the whole competition. There's a girl that lives here, actually, a ventriloquist, Darcy Lynn Farmer, I believe is her name.
Yeah, that little girl.
Yeah.
That sings and does ventriloquism. Yeah.
I've actually watched her perform live, and she's very, very talented. And she won, and then I believe she won second place, or was in whatever the top tier was for a rematch, like a competition between all the winners.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing something like that.
Yeah.
The champion, America's Got Talent, the champions, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Now for her performances, they're probably entertaining in a Vegas show.
No, I'll tell you what, the actual probably most, like, she's really good, but like the most entertaining for me was the Simple Magician guy. Like, he took everyday things and he was just a comedian pretty much. Like, and he goes, like he'd take like a tissue box and be like, see this? Pull out tissues.
Now you don't see
it. Well, no. And then just be like, oh, look at all these that I have right here. Just stupid things like that. And it's just, I can't remember his name, but it was like the Simple Magician, something like that. And it was just funny. Like, it was actually entertaining. Because things that you would never look at as, oh, hey, look, this is magical.
Right. and I wonder if the judges go into a show like that with the intent of finding a Vegas act, or if they go into it with the intent of just judging if they like someone's performance.
I think it's a bit of both. I think it has to be a bit of both, because if you don't have a good stage presence, I don't think your act, you could be very good at what you do, but it just won't come out as great.
Right. But if you have a great act that won't really attract a large crowd to a show, or be part of a variety show in Vegas, won't fit into that, I think they still put you through.
Oh yeah, they'll still put you through, but when you're talking about like how well people receive it, it's because other people start voting for the people. So
True.
that's where it's going to really start falling off, because you lose people in a general basis. The crowd, you start losing crowd that aren't interested in it. If
No, you've lost me completely.
it's weird to explain. You could be really good at your craft, but you may not be able to show it the
Right.
best.
Well, and some people I'm sure freeze up and have nerve problems
Yeah.
performing in front of an audience that large anyway.
Yeah.
I think you should perform next time they come to your area.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you should get on there.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
You could sing and dance.
Da, 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 da. Here, put on this hat. Here's this whip.
What was that one guy from
Here's some bananas. Call me a monkey and say dance, monkey.
It was a singing competition, and there was a guy that made it through, and they were just making fun of him the entire time. Oh, what was his name?
They were just, there was a lot. I mean, there's been a few that they make fun of the entire
He
way.
actually got a record deal, and he was absolutely horrible.
That was on, what was that first one? The original one with Simon Cowell.
American Idol.
That was
Yeah.
American Idol, and that was young. That was the Asian guy. I know who you're talking about.
Oh, William Hung.
William Hung.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually he's got a Wikipedia entrance. How about that?
You could have one too.
Just go perform.
No, we could just make one for you.
Yeah, he did Ricky Martin.
Yeah,
The She Bangs. Wow. That was in 2004. That song needs to stay in 2004.
The scary thing is, I swear it was only just a couple years ago that I saw him like come back out with something. I was like, are you kidding me? Are people actually still buying into this? And apparently so. People are dumb.
Well,
like they will buy into, I guess it makes them feel better about their lives or something.
he was offered $25,000 advance on a record deal from Coke Entertainment in 2004 and released 3 albums on that label in 2004 and 2005.
Oh, wait a second. I've got a suspicion. I bet you. Have you ever seen William Hung and Psy in the same place?
No, did they have performed together?
I don't think they ever have.
With the miracle of technology, we can make that happen.
Well, I'm saying I've got a conspiracy theory that is
the same person.
That is the same person. Look at how many years has gone by. Gain a little weight.
Well,
learn. Was it Korean?
I believe he is Chinese.
Which one?
William Hung.
Yeah, and Psy was Korean, wasn't he?
Oh, yes, I believe so. I believe that's correct.
Well, I mean, he could learn it. He could learn it, come out, all of a sudden, voila.
Learn Chinese?
No, he could learn Korean.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, here's this new performer, Psy. I'm telling you.
Were Psy's songs actually in Korean?
You know what? He had, I mean,
I don't think I recall a single lyric from any of his stuff.
I try not to, that's for sure. But no, he actually there was there'd be like a little bit of English, maybe, like kind of like how people do like Spanglish.
Spanglish.
Right. Kind of like how people do that, but yeah, it was mostly in Korean. So for some reason, he made it big here.
Yeah, that happens.
You know what? Now that the FBI guy, now that the FBI guy just heard me, call out William Hung like that, you won't see me tomorrow. Like shit, they found us out.
Did I ever tell you about when the feds showed up at my house?
No.
Um, I uh, I had a friend that had called me once, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to put you down as a reference." And I said, "Okay, fine." He didn't tell me what it was for. And at the time, this friend worked for the military, and he was having a pretty extensive background check performed. And so it was 3 weeks later or so. My doorbell rings. I open up the door, and it's an FBI agent wanting to interview me about a friend of mine. And uh, when I first opened the door, it was kind of like the shit. I should run.
That was your natural reaction.
Ever since then, anytime somebody asks to put me down as a reference, I ask what it's for now.
Oh, Target? Sure. You gonna work at Dairy Queen? All right.
Yeah, military background check? Nope.
Next, please. Oh, you know what? I just remembered what I wanted to ask you, man. Tell me the dump truck story.
Oh, the dump truck story. Yeah, that's a long time ago now. I'm old. When I was 19, uh, I owned a little business where I made T-shirts and hats and buttons and stuff with random sayings on it and sold it online. And I had a bunch of orders that I needed to fill, and um, I I got in a fight with my girlfriend, so I decided to leave my house and go to a friend's house up the street. And we were watching a bunch of movies, and I heard a bunch of sirens. And so I walked outside, and I saw this dump truck drive down his road because he lived on a hill. Drive down his road really fast, and then a bunch of cops chasing it. And another friend of ours that was there said, "Watch it hit your house," because my house was at the bottom of that hill. And about an hour later, um, we were watching an evening with Kevin Smith at the time. And so when that ended, I drove home. There were cops all over the road down by my house, which wasn't unusual because ghetto. Um, but I pulled in my driveway, and I look over, and the whole back of my house is gone.
Oh, jeez.
And the police were chasing the dump truck. It tried to make a turn. It lost control and hit my porch and went airborne through the house and just completely tore the entire back of the house off. And my desk that I had my computer set up on and all the printers and everything to make all the product that I was selling was tucked underneath the bed. And I mean, just the entire house was just totaled. And It was a spectacle. People were like pulling over in their cars and getting up and looking at it. The dump truck was in a tree in the backyard.
Oh Jesus!
And anyway, I jumped out of my truck, and I was ecstatic, and I said, like, what the F do I do now? And this cop that just appeared next to me said, if I were you, I'd start drinking.
Damn.
And I thought, okay, I'm 19. Got your permission. But then I called my friend who had previously said that he hoped that it hits my house. Or he said, watch it hit your house. And I called him and I told him, hey, you remember that dump truck? And he said, yeah, yeah. I was like, well, it did hit my house. And
no shit.
you should drive down the road and take a look. And he said he could tell by my voice that I was serious. And he just hung up his phone and he showed up. And the front of the house was still intact. It was just the entire back was ripped off. There was no power because it ripped the power lines away from the house. And it started to pour rain.
Oh, beautiful. Just
And
even more for it.
At this point, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I realized, oh shit, I should call my landlord. And I called the landlord and his wife answered the phone. And I woke her up and everything. And so she was a little out of it. And I'm screaming at her in the pouring rain, put Bob on the phone. A dump truck drove through the house. And he ended up coming over and bringing like a bunch of tarps, and we stapled them onto what remained of the house. And I ended up sleeping on a little tiny 2-seater couch. I had 2 of them because I was 19. I didn't have good furniture then. Still don't, and I'm 36. But anyway, I slept on one couch, and another friend of mine slept on the other because we were afraid, since the house was basically secured by tarps, that people were gonna
come in and start jacking.
Yeah, because I mean, you would think that nobody was staying there in the condition the house was in. But the next day, the fire marshal actually wouldn't let us stay there anymore.
I'm sure it was a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, so that the house has since been rebuilt. But there still is this chunk missing out of the front porch. And the last time I was in that town and drove by it, there was a family living there, and I'm sure they have no idea what transpired that day. But there's an addition to the story that happened sometime later, because after it was first rebuilt, I did move back in for about 2 months. And then I moved away. But the dump truck was stolen from a stockyard. It was used as a manure truck.
Oh, even better. God.
So as it flew through the house, it did dump manure everywhere.
Oh, Jesus.
And I guess manure is a attractive substance for fiddlebacks, if you're familiar with a fiddleback, brown recluse spider. They like to, I guess, chill in it.
Yeah, it's dark. It's cool.
Make their babies. So the house, once it was reconstructed and safe and everything, and I moved back in,
it wasn't safe.
I started noticing these spiders, and I was naive to a fiddleback. I hadn't lived in Oklahoma very long at this point, and never knew what one was when I lived in Northern California. Although they may exist there, I don't know. But I kept seeing these spiders, and I would find them, and I would deal with them as I would find them, and I didn't think anything of it other than weird. There's spiders in my house. And it wasn't until a friend was at the house one day that he looked and he said, "Hey, that spider on your wall, that's a fiddleback. You should be careful. That'll rot your arm off." and at that point, I looked up what a fiddleback was, and I called my landlord again, and I said, the house has fiddlebacks now, and I think there's an infestation because I ended up finding 20 of them.
Dear Lord.
And so they did the thing where they put a big tent over the house, and fumigate it. And at that point, I said I'm done, and I moved out and moved into a friend's house for a little while. But that's that's the essence of the dump truck story. And the dump truck that was stolen, like I said, from the stockyards, which at the time were owned by my dad's best friend. So.
Man. So whose insurance pays for it? Is it the landlord's insurance pays for that? Or
The
does
landlord
pay
paid
part
for it and sued. The guy that stole it, I forgot to tell you that bit. He stole the dump truck with the intention to drive it to Oklahoma City. Now, at the time, I lived in a town that was about 2 hours away from Oklahoma City. So he was an idiot. And he went to prison and all that stuff. But the court ended up ordering him to pay restitution, and so I got a little bit of money back for the damages I incurred, and the landlord, I believe, settled on some of the repairs to the house. I think he lost a lot more than he got back, but
well, I guess in the end, I mean, you get as long as it gets fixed and you get renters in there.
Yeah, and it was actually after that I learned how valuable renter's insurance could be if you have it.
Yes. In fact, we tell our residents to have that all the time.
Yeah. So I did not have it at the time, and so if anyone listening to this rents and you don't have renter's insurance, just imagine a dump truck driving through your house and what you could lose.
Even more than that. I mean, just a simple like mold problem. Let's say something happens with the HVAC. Your landlord is not responsible for your items.
Ooh, that's fun.
So like if you get clothes, shoes destroyed, other personal items, no landlord is responsible for that.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So we actually had that problem with one of our residents, and they lost almost like $300-$400 worth of clothes.
Ouch. Did they try to get you guys to reimburse them for that?
Oh yeah, they tried.
Yeah.
our lawyer swiftly said, yeah, no. In fact, you're actually encouraged. We do know it says in our lease you are not required to have renter's insurance, but you are strongly suggested to get it.
Yeah. The house that I rented after that, I realized how cheap renter's insurance actually was. Because at the time, I think I was paying under $50 a month for like $100,000 in coverage or so.
Yeah, it's stupid cheap.
Yeah,
it's still stupid cheap, especially like if you're bundling it with your car or anything like that.
Yeah, there's really no reason that I could think of not to get it.
No.
Except if you're, stupid and 19
And what other kind of insurance have you found to be important, John?
What other type of insurance?
Yes. Well, let's say considering a motorcycle.
Yeah, definitely have good auto insurance on your vehicles, and it's
well, let's specifically say this: if you purchase a new vehicle,
oh, gap insurance. There we go. That one's nice to have. It would have been great the past time around, but always try to, whenever you total a motorcycle, and this was crazy with mine. It had frame damage. Uh, it was just in really bad shape. If anybody at the time actually followed me on Instagram, I had posted lots of pictures. And I took it to a local Harley shop, and they itemize everything that has to be replaced. And Harley doesn't repair parts, so every part has to be purchased new, and then there's the cost to assemble it on the bike. And since the frame had received damage, the entire bike would have had to be rebuilt. And they gave a price to the insurance for that, and the insurance said, okay, go ahead and rebuild it. And the guy I know at the Harley shop was like, are they crazy? It's like, we're going to strip the entire bike down, take everything off of it, replace the frame, and then put the engine back on, and put everything that can be put back on it,
Well,
and then new parts for everything else. And
at least you could say it was hand built.
right. And the bike was only, I think, 2 years old, maybe 3 at the time. And they finally came back, and they said they were going to total it, but they were going to only give me 10 grand.
But they okayed for them to rebuild it.
Yeah, they were going to rebuild it for 13. Then they were going to settle for 10. And at the end of the day, I ended up getting it within $500 of what I owed. So being as I didn't have gap insurance, I just paid that $500, and it was done and over with. But
ooh, but that would have been scary.
yeah, it's definitely something. I typically always get gap policies, but on that specific loan, I had refinanced it, and when I refinanced it, I didn't refinance it with gap. And the previous company had canceled the gap policy when I refinanced, so I was screwed in that scenario. So gap insurance, important. Get it if you don't have it.
There we go. So we're learning all sorts of new things, aren't we, John?
Yep. Renter's insurance and gap insurance, very important.
So, John, do you have gap insurance on your new Spider?
Wait, not me.
No,
I don't have a Spider.
JJ, not yeah. Oh wait, that's right.
I do not, because I'm on the plus side of the Spider.
Well,
so if you come out ahead, if you take a loan out and you're ahead, don't do gap. So if the bike is more than what you're going to put down, or if you put down enough so it's down, and the value of your loan is less than what the value of the bike's going to be, then if that makes sense.
Well, yeah. Well, you had a good trade in too, though. You had a good trade in with your old Spider.
Yeah, I mean, I walked out with a good deal. So,
what was it? You ended up what? Not just still paying off just the end price, correct?
Yeah.
Like whatever left you had on the F3, you're now or the RS, you're now just paying that down on the F3.
Yep.
So see, that's a great deal. Don't own any more, and you got a whole brand new bike out of it.
And the other thing is to kind of talk to people when you do more talking things about loans and stuff. Motorcycles are looked as recreational vehicles, and it's harder to get loans on those.
Loan companies don't like that.
Yeah.
But that's also why a lot of dealers, well, at least Harley has their own financing.
Yeah, and horrible interest rates.
Yeah.
Well, Harley will get you in a bike.
Yeah, they'll get you in a bike, but you're gonna pay for that privilege.
You're going to get, and that's, as much as that people could bash Harley, talk about Harley. Harley has some very good.
They've got actually really good deals when you come in a lot. You know,
You
Yeah.
get.
they will work prices down a lot if they're really looking to sell.
Yeah, and they do a lot of things to get you out there. And I know I preach it many times. If you've heard me on Law Pipes, I'll give Harley the kudos that if you want to go in a Harley dealership and you want to test ride the next bike, they're going to let you on it.
Yeah. Because
And-
you're so much more likely to buy a bike if you can actually ride it.
Yep, you are correct. And I know.
I mean, that's what we did with wives. I mean,
That's one of the downsides with the other manufacturers, but I know there's reasons because the Japanese manufacturers don't give dealers incentives to have demo bikes because that bike sits on a showroom. They have to pay the manufacturing, interest on that bike sitting there and fees on that bike. And then,
It loses value with miles.
yep, loses miles with miles. And as soon as you register it, comes a different thing. And then another thing is that, insurance. I mean, Harley, I think, has deep enough pockets. They're self-insured, so that's where they don't have to worry about an insurance company, but others aren't.
well, that's also a good thing about like basic power sports places where they carry multiple brands. They're not just brand loyal. Is they tend to have a lot more wiggle room with allowing you to ride.
Yeah, I know. Recently, I was at an Indian dealership, and they were strictly only sold Indian. I don't know if there are any power sport type places that also carry Indian, or if they're
There is
trying
one
to
here.
do these independent, almost like a Harley dealership setup for the Indian. But the one I went to specifically only Indian, and they offered to let me test ride any bike in their showroom, which I did not take them up on that offer though.
It's mixed as far as Indians.
Yeah.
I know like there's Indian of Charlotte it's all Indian. And then you get up here, and then there's like a Ride Now Power Sports in Concord. It has Indian and other bikes. And then there's Indian dealership up here that's Garcia. They have BMW and what else do they have? I think Triumph, Ducati is what they have.
Ah.
And I think they even have KTM as well. Yeah, they have KTM as well. So I think Indian is a mix.
Yeah, they are, because I know that for sure here. There's an Indian dealer right by downtown. And then you go south towards Murfreesboro, and there's Sloan's Power Sports, and they have a good sized section that's dedicated just to Indian. And then all your other bikes that they have. Your Hondas, Yamahas, Suzuki's. They sell side by side, everything, So
Well, the dealership. It was Indian Motorcycles of Oklahoma City. It was actually a really nice little dealership. So it would be interesting to see more um, kind of Indian specific showrooms.
I'm going to really start messing with people. I'm going to get like an Indian hat or jacket. Be riding around on my Dyna.
I remember I was actually at an Indian dealership when the when the Milwaukee 8 first debuted, like when Harley dealerships started getting the Milwaukee 8, and the sales guy at the Indian dealership was commenting on how smooth the Indians were as compared to the 103, the Rushmore 103, and how the vibration it's so well balanced. And so I sat on one and started it and everything in the showroom. I didn't ride it, but immediately after that, I went to a Harley dealership and did the exact same thing with Milwaukee 8. And I didn't notice a whole lot of difference.
Well, that's a Milwaukee 8. I mean, your twin cam though. Your twin cams definitely did have some good shake on them.
Yeah. Well, I had a Rushmore 103 before I had got a Milwaukee 8, and I mean the vibration from that never bothered me either.
Yeah, honestly, the only vibration that you ever really feel from it is while you're at a standstill.
Right.
I mean, while you're moving, they're still smooth. So,
and the other thing the sales guy kept pointing out was the infotainment system on the Indian being far superior to Harley's, which I'll give them that, because the system on don't have any experience with the new one, the one that has like CarPlay and all that junk.
right.
But the current one is crap. And if you ever used any of the Harley Bagger infotainment systems, Boom Audio, Boombox, or whatever,
Boom Audio, yep.
It's just entering data into it for GPS will take you 10 minutes.
It takes forever because you got to put it's almost like you have to put the street and then the address and then you look for the city.
Yeah.
It's so weird how they have it set up.
And it's been quite a while, I guess, that they've had that system, and they haven't really added onto it or really made it any better. And then they come out with a whole new system on the 2019 models,
right?
That's not backwards compatible at all. So you can't buy. You can buy the stereo by itself through Harley now, but you can't use it on older models.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Now I'd like to see how the new system works, though.
I've watched videos on it. I think it's nice that it has Apple CarPlay, but it would have been nicer if maybe they added Android Auto as well. To my knowledge, it still has a limitation with the Bluetooth headset, even though I believe it's no longer made by Harman Kardon. I may be wrong on that, but the first system was just it lacked the headset profile.
Yeah,
and everyone blamed Harman Kardon for that, but I think that might have actually been a marketing theme for Harley, since the new system is that way as well. Because now they can sell you that little piece you got to put in your fairing that adds a Bluetooth. and on top of that, they can sell you their Harley branded Sena headsets.
That's right.
Otherwise, what is it? You get one ear audio if you use a regular Sena.
You know what? I've never noticed anything like that. I mean, I've got my 10C, and my dad's got it hooked up into his Ultra through that old 8-prong plug.
Oh yeah.
And it plays through both my ears. Like everything will play through both my ears.
I just hook directly in. I've got the Harley headset in my helmet, and I just plug in when I ride now.
It's just easier to you know what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
Their little Bluetooth, the Sena little Bluetooth plug-in.
Yeah,
for
that one's fine. The Harley branded Bluetooth thing is what I was talking about. And if you use any headset other than the Harley branded headset, I believe you only get one channel audio, one ear. Now, if you use Harley's one, works perfect. And I believe the Harley branded headset will work with any other Sena gear. It just is the only headset that will work with the Harley system. Which just screams marketing department all over it.
That does scream. Yeah. Buy our things.
Yep. Engineered limitations.
It's engineered marketing, sir. Engineered marketing. You can't use this without using this for this.
But you know, when the first let's see, which bike was that I bought? Was it Street Glide? 2014 Street Glide, I think, was the first bike I had got that had that new infotainment system, which had you could talk to it. It had a speech recognition system built into it, where you're supposed to be able to tell it to navigate to so and so or call so and so, and you can pair this stereo with your phone for phone calls. When you buy the Street Glide Special, it does not come with the adapter for the headset.
Oh, geez.
And it does not come with the Bluetooth or anything for the headset. So if your phone is paired to the bike and you get a phone call, it's going to ring through the stereo, and it's going to allow you to even answer it through the stereo.
But you can't talk to anybody.
But you can't talk, and you can hear them on the other side. And so I had this thing that I would tell people that regularly called me, that if I answer the phone and I don't say anything, assume I'm on the bike, and just say whatever you need to say to me. And if it's important, I will get off the bike and I will call you on my phone. And that worked for the longest time. And in fact, until I got this Ultra that actually had the what is it, the 7-pin?
Yeah.
Until I actually had that port, is the first time I've ever had the full system where I could talk to it and use the voice recognition as well as do phone calls. And because even when I had a Sena headset, I never used it to talk on the phone or anything.
Okay, so $1 million question. So with all the people that you told to just, if I don't answer back, assume I'm on the bike and say what you got to say. How many assholes did you have?
Everyone.
Like were they out there just say like, oh yeah, you can come back to my place whenever you're ready to come back here, boy.
No.
Then you apparently didn't have real friends. I mean,
come on. All my friends are assholes.
Because only the best friends will do that stuff to you.
Yeah, pretty much. But the stereo also will let you respond to text messages, which is interesting because it's supposed to limit it to where you could only text through the stereo when you're stopped. But there's a workaround for that. If you have an iPhone and it's paired with the system, you can actually activate Siri through it and respond, and have Siri read your texts and respond to them through the stereo.
Yeah. Huh. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Now with the new ones with the 2019 system, it actually has CarPlay built in, so it would have Siri being almost native to the stereo once the phone's plugged into it.
Great. Siri's going to take over the world and kill us all.
Yeah, probably.
I see it happening. On that note, though, we're starting to run a little long, just a little long.
Yeah.
Sounds like John
bed
fell
bacon.
asleep.
Yeah, I need to go to bed.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up for any last words. So, John?
Which one?
I have John and I have JJ.
Oh, it's been fun. It's been awesome hanging out with you, John.
Same here.
So,
And JJ, any last words for you, sir?
Tacos are delicious.
Ah, yes, they are. And as for me, well, as always, thank you all for listening, and don't forget to tune in here in 2 weeks' time for the next time that we actually by the time this one airs, it'll be in 2 weeks. So, yeah, so 2 weeks from today, we need you to listen right here on YouTube. So until then, vaya con Dios.